Hello and welcome back to our series about the Sierra Leone mission. Last time we heard about the beginnings of communication between the connectional churches in Sierra Leone and the UK, and the first visitors from Sierra Leone to a church in England. Today we'll talk about the first visits made from England to Sierra Leone in the connection.
The first missionary to visit Sierra Leone from England was the Rev. George Fowler in 1853. He was given a very enthusiastic welcome, and during his stay he sailed on a boat named the Selina on its maiden voyage to a Holy Communion service at Waterloo, attended by 480 people. After 4 months visiting all the connection churches and mission stations, he returned home to England. The second missionaries were sent in 1857 and were Rev. J. Trotter and his wife, who sadly died of a fever 8 months after their arrival. They set up the first official training institution for preachers before returning home in October 1859.
Then came a gap of 40 years when occasional visitors went to Sierra Leone, before in 1898 when it was agreed that the Christians in England should further support the training in Sierra Leonean churches. The next missionary was sent in 1899 for 18 years, called Rev. William Groves, and he was appointed superintendent of the colony churches before returning to England in 1918. Following his retirement, missionary superintendent Rev. H. Keyes visited Sierra Leone to do a survey of Groves' work, identifying the work needed in the town of Bauma. Following this, Mr. W. D. Kimeneth was sent in 1921. He worked mainly in Bauma until his death in March 1926.
He was succeeded by Rev. Arthur Q in October of the same year. Bauma remained the centre of activity, where Q laboured faithfully, also visiting the other colony churches until he retired in October 1958. Soon after, another survey was conducted by Rev. W. C. C. Broadwater, after which he felt the connection should join with another mission in order to support the base in Bauma, leading it to be passed over to the EUB, the Methodist Mission Society. In 1959, the Rev. C. Roger Grundy accepted an invitation to serve in this joint appointment for its 4-year trial period. He set out with the object of pioneering the training and nurturing of African leaders, pastors and teachers, and young people, acting generally as advisor and friend. He set up a Young People's Training Centre for general and Christian education. He spent little time working with the Methodists, leading them to suggest that the joint appointment not be continued. However, Mr. Grundy continued being a full-time missionary for the connection until 1966. In 1962 to 64, Mr. Grundy was joined by Rosamond de Aff, who helped teach at the training centre for 2 years and appealed for a secondary school to be located there. This was later funded and became the Huntingdon Secondary School. A church was also started in Joy, named the Roger Grundy Memorial Church in honour of the work done by Mr. Grundy and his mission there.
In 1966, another missionary, David Pavitt, visited Sierra Leone. Since the last missionary, Rev. Tom Rowley, went out, visits have been more frequent to Sierra Leone.